So thank you so much for watching this video. I wanted to do this interview with my very good friend of over a decade, Doug Brown. And he's a wonderful filmmaker, video editor. I mean, he's got an amazing background of many years doing filmmaking, video making, music videos. He was a host on Shaw TV here in Canada for a very long time. And I feel very privileged to have been able to work with Doug for over 10 years now. So I wanted to bring you guys in and show you some of the behind the scenes and talk to him about some of the work we've done over the past decade and all the music videos we've been able to collaborate on and all the things that we have coming up for you. Okay, so I just want to start off to set this up. Doug set up all these, we have 3 cameras going. We have 3 lights and lots of gear. And it took us like, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, it took a little while to set this all up.
I shouldn't even say us, it was mostly you.
We had to bring things out of the cage and hook them up and set them up. So it's kind of fun. We get to play with some of this equipment that they've got here in the studio. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we're at the Center for Arts and Technology in the Okanagan and here in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. And I've been wanting to do this interview for a really long time. Normally it's Doug interviewing people because he worked for Shaw for how long?
19 years.
Wow. And before that, what did you do?
I have my own video production company called Lightspeed Multimedia.
Oh, okay.
And I made training videos and TV commercials and corporate videos. And
so I met you through, I think, Shaw TV, right? Or is that where we first met?
I think so. You probably came on a show.
Yeah, I think so.
And we were just talking about your music, which has always struck me. Your voice is so compelling. And so I was like, yeah, we should do something. You know.
Well, I think that was 10 years ago.
It's probably close to 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was either 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. So now we're in 2019. And who knows if you're watching this 2019, but we're making this in 2019. And yeah, so we were working together for 10 years. And I just finally felt like it was time to show everybody all the work that you do behind the scenes, because people get to see all the sort of glammy things that
the finished product.
The finished product. So we get to see everything edited, take out all the, the oopsie shots, and
not that you ever mess up.
Oh yeah, of
ever.
Course.
Never.
I'm perfect.
Perfect. Every one take, that's it. We're done. We can move on now.
No, sometimes we spend like many hours doing many takes, doing lots of different angles.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of the first projects we did together. Well, I mean, we did some interviews at Shaw TV. So I've done, I think we were talking about maybe my first album when we first met. Yeah. And then
you just finished your tour.
Okay, yeah, I had a tour across Canada and the US.
Yeah.
And to promote my first album, Beyond Words, back in 2009.
Yeah.
And then I think we also did an interview where we talked about, I had that weird scandal that happened in Eurovision and when someone like stole my song.
Yeah. It was weird. Weird things.
So, and then just over the years, I think I've come back to Shaw a few times talking about a few different projects. Yeah. And then you really graciously invited me to co-host a Christmas.
Yes, we did that great Christmas special together.
Hey everybody, it's Doug Brown, our co-host for our show.
Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was hoping I could get here in time to help you decorate.
Oh,
Probably the highlight of my singing career. You actually let me record a couple of songs with you, and I actually sang, which is, I'm the behind the scenes camera guy, or like the news reporter. I'm not often, definitely never singing in public.
He has a beautiful voice.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
It was awesome to sing with you and do some duets with you.
It was fun. It was fun. It was great. I was like sweating like crazy and smiling, and it's like, how does she do this all the time and make it look so effortless? I mean, that's something that I've always, admired so much about you, is that like your performance when you're singing, the real you shines through so well, and it's just like I'm always like a joy to be photographing you or filming you, because you perform so well. Like every take is like something magical happens when you start to sing.
Oh, thank you. Well, this interview is supposed to be about you, not me, but you're totally flattering me. Thank you. I think that the person behind the camera and the person that you're working with brings that out. And I think that the reason that I've really enjoyed working with you over the years is because I've worked with a lot of talented people, and there's a lot of amazing people out there. Definitely a lot of amazing people here in British Columbia, like where we live. But I keep wanting to work with you again, just because we have this really nice energy that I feel like you're always up for an adventure.
Yeah, well, we've had some adventures.
And I mean, as an independent artist, I have, smaller budgets to work with.
Yeah.
So I don't have the luxury of having, big crews. I don't have the luxury of having, big costumes and all this other stuff. I've tried to put things together, sometimes buying dresses secondhand, and, you try to get props at the dollar store. Just trying to make things work.
All those hearts you hung from the trees.
Yes, yes. I think you're very open to trying to make magic out of, our sort of a minimalistic approach to things.
Yeah.
And I find that really fascinating because, I mean, when you do have these huge budgets, which I would love to have also one day, perhaps, but I feel like you have to be more creative. It's like more demanding to be more creative and to think outside the box and to do different editing techniques, different angles, use different lenses, and to try to brainstorm different ways to make it still look just as interesting when you don't have a big budget.
Well, I mean, I think that sort of our ability to work together, and we've developed techniques and a shorthand that lets us, like, okay, you explain it to me. I had a dream about hearts in trees,
Right.
or whatever, and then it's like, okay, well, how do we conjure that up? How do we make that a reality? And so those kind of challenges are exciting. Again, like if you had an infinite budget, you just like pay somebody to make that happen.
Right.
But when you don't, and you have to, create that and go, well, what kind of camera angles, what kind of lighting, what kind of day, how are we going to make this, the best that it can be with the parameters that we have? And yeah, that's always excited me. I've been an independent filmmaker for a long time, and I tend to make my own sort of small, short films, mostly, with minimal crew, and trying to just, always push myself to be as creative as I can with, the bare bones.
Right.
Because I don't have big budgets to make my movies.
I know.
So-
I actually worked behind.
Yes.
I worked doing sound for.
You're the boom operator. Like I've editing that, and I could hear Leah, asking me questions because it's like the first time she'd ever done it before. It's like, okay, is this point? What? Yeah, you're doing great, Leah. That sounds fantastic. Okay, good.
Just wanted to make sure, there's no like microphone in the shot or anything.
Once or twice, but
Yeah,
it's fixable.
Yeah. So I mean, you've also built several things to make some of the, images work. I mean, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Like the jib, the crane.
Yeah.
So we to provide smooth camera movement, you need to put the camera on something, and when you have a larger camera, it's nice to have a crane, or a jib, which is like a teeter-totter, essentially. So we put counterweights at one end, the camera on the other, and it's perfectly balanced so that the camera just floats. And my friend Corey and I, he had a machine shop, and we studied online. So with the help of Corey, we engineered our own jib, and it's fantastic. It's so beautiful and smooth, and we can get these great camera moves that, the things cost thousands of dollars, but we built our own.
And I can't remember which videos did we use that Speechless?
Speechless, yeah, and the Valentine's.
Simple Love.
Simple Love, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so we use it on those for sure. On the most recent one, we were using gyro-stabilized cameras, which is like a new kind of technique for that sort of thing.
So we just shot Someone to Watch Over Me, and I think it was the end of September.
And yeah, just get into fall there.
I think it was like the last warm day.
Yeah. The leaves are just hanging on.
And it's funny because I think when we shot Simple Love back in 2011, and it debuted in, I think, February for Valentine's Day in 2012. I think we also got The Last Warm Day. We've traveled to New Mexico.
Mexico, yeah, Santa Fe. That was an exciting trip. And it's just amazing. You have that beautiful song. about Georgia O'Keeffe, and we got to go into the museum that celebrates her work, where she lived, and drove out to the ranch that she stayed at, and took a tour there where they showed us like the tree from the painting and the bluffs that she painted so often, and that was super inspiring. And then we got to go out in that amazing desert and explore just that landscape around the ranch that she painted on, and that lookout.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. It was
Is standing on this bluff that juts out into the canyon, falling down to the river way below, and off in the distance the mesas, just sort of one and then another into the distance, and you sitting there on that promontory of rock with just all that vastness around you.
Yeah, I think I took a couple pictures of you too, just because it was just like an amazing experience, and I just wanted to make sure that, like, we captured. I wish we had like that third person that can always get the behind the scenes, and that's why I really wanted to do this interview, is because I feel like there's so much that happens, like all the planning and all the work that you do and all the shots and all the traveling that we've done and just climbing and hiking. I mean, I think about like that. All those, remember those ladders that we climbed?
We had to go up all those wooden ladders to get up to the lookout.
Okay, so we climbed up to that ceremonial cave area.
Yeah, it was amazing. What was the name of the park that we were in?
It was Bandelier.
Yeah, Bandelier Park.
National Park.
And just to be in this place where people have lived for centuries, thousands of years, building their dwellings in there, and being able to go into it and explore it and experience it, and then climb up to that location, and then we're up there filming this and singing, and a family of tourists climbs up the ladder. Okay, we're here. Like, yeah, sure. So they sat down, and they had a little private concert while you sang, and they were like applauding, and went home and bought your CD. It was good.
We've given it quite a few little private concerts. I remember when we were shooting the Christmas show in Penticton, and a bunch of people were walking by, because we always we have to just shoot in like a lot of times public locations and things like that. But we always have a lot of fun. Yeah, and I'm wearing like this little mini skirt. I'm like trying to climb up, like, I don't know how many feet, like 300 feet of.
There was a lot of ladders.
Of ladders with backpack full of camera gear. And like makeup and outfit changes and all this kind of stuff, and then you've got backpacks on, and I've got like my hiking shoes with like my outfit that I'm wearing, and we had so much footage from Santa Fe. We didn't know what to do with it, so we actually wind up making like a few different.
We got like all panels going.
Yeah, we have different panels going at the same time, just because there was so much material. We wanted to like get some of it to show you guys.
A sweet dairy girl to the Big Apple City, where she met Alfred Stieglitz. They made love so pretty, but she longed for these stark and infinite spaces.
And then we went to Los Angeles, and you got to meet my producer, Marty.
Marty, amazing guy. Like, it was so cool. Like, we drive out to
Santa Monica.
And we go in this place, and it's, it's a music studio, and it's, you walk in, and one of the first things you see is this wall of gold and silver and platinum records that he's worked on. And then you look at the names on some of them, and they're like some of the biggest names in the business. And he's just like the nicest guy, really down to earth, great to work with. And he told us that the studio was Brian Wilson's, or the Beach Boys practice studio. That's where they used to rehearse. The actual Beach Boys were in the same place where that music was dreamed up and created. It was like just a thrill of a lifetime to be there.
I know, I've had so many amazing moments in that studio. So it's nice for you to get there too, and for you to meet Marty, and like these. I tend to be very loyal with, pretty much everyone in my life. I mean, I've used Marty so many times for all the songs, and I love working with you. So I feel like once I find those people that are like really work well in my life, and I feel like we have a lot of dynamics, and I can be a little bit like, oh, let's just do this random idea. or I had a dream, and I want to try to see what we can come up with. So I feel like you kind of find like your tribe of people in life. I mean, not everybody does, but I feel like I do, and I feel like that's very important. Then you kind of have like get on the same wavelength, and you're like, okay, how can we make this work? And I feel like you're always up for that. I mean, when we went down to Santa Fe, I mean, again, even though we flew to a totally different location, kind of because we had to, because it was about Georgia O'Keeffe, and we really wanted to get into the vibe. And we found that really neat location just off the highway with all those colors and the
Red
mountains.
Rock Canyon there and the big boulders. And
but we still always try to make things work, and I think we really worked well together as a team. And I try to do a little bit of photography while we're going on. But on the last shoot that we did, it was nice to have Ono there.
Yeah, it was great.
Because he was able to capture some of what you have to go through.
Wading in the creek.
Yeah, he's like knee deep up in this freezing cold water, trying to capture some really cool reflective images.
Yeah, he had that great sparkly dress, and the water was sparkling, and the light was just coming through the trees. And it was a magical moment. And so I was like, yeah, of course you jump in the creek to get that kind of thing. I mean, that's
yeah. And then you're like helping me around. I'm like walking barefoot, and because like I originally brought heels, which were not good going to work.
Not in a creek bottom.
No, not a creek bottom. So, but yeah, we had a lot of fun with that shoot, and it was nice having that third person there. And also, of course, he took some amazing photographs
great
as well as some really cool behind the scenes. So it was like gave me that idea. Said, we really should highlight all the stuff that we've done together.
Yeah.
And then we did kind of like some of those acoustic videos that we did up in the hills.
Just sitting there with the beautiful
the South Okanagan.
Beautiful setting sun, the late afternoon sun with the hillside stretching away and all those beautiful colors, and you just playing and singing live, and it was, that was fantastic. Some fields of sunflower from one end of the country to the other.
Yes. Oh yeah, we went out to Quebec for Les Tournesols, which is means the sunflowers in French. And
you found that enormous field of sunflowers, and they were like higher than our heads.
Yes.
And there were little pathways through there, and just beautiful. And you had Bruno was there as singing the duet, and it was so fantastic.
Yeah, that was a special time. So we flew out for that one, and the owners of the farm were so gracious to let us shoot there for several days.
Yeah.
And it just seems like everything we do, for some reason, it's just like there's like a little bit of like universal magic comes in to just make everything kind of really work. And I feel like when you find those people that, like the doors always seem to open, the windows always seem to open, and the universe always seems to like grant you those magical things that you never expected to happen. I feel like you've found your people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I feel the same way. Like it's just so comfortable to work with you, and so always a fun challenge, and you're just so up and bright and happy. Not like forced happiness, but like just you always approach things positively. If something goes wrong, it's like, well, how do we figure out a way? There's no there's no bad tempers. You never had a diva moment.
No, never had a diva moment. I'm sure I've had a couple. No, but I feel like when things go wrong or things are not going a certain way, and I think you're the same way, I feel like the universe is saying, okay, there's another way to do something, or something like you're supposed to take a different path with this. And I'm not only excited about all the work that we have done, but I'm also excited about all the things that we have coming up. We have so many videos planned for you. We have some really neat ideas.
Yeah, lots of great ideas. Hopefully we can, use this fantastic space for some of that. And you keep writing amazing music, so we just have to as a tribute to that, to share that with the world, we need to make the best possible images to go with it.
Yeah. You're so talented, and the thing too is that not only are you talented behind the camera, but when it comes to editing, I mean, you just go above and beyond. I mean, you'll send me like 10 drafts of something, just say, well, I'm tweaking here and tweaking there, and editing is a huge piece to anything, any movies you make, TV shows, because sometimes it's what you omit is just as important as what you put in. And you always seem to capture, there's a magic also to the timing. and where you transition
Right.
frames, especially when music videos, because music videos, they already have a rhythm.
Yeah.
And to be able to kind of go into the flow with the images and know exactly where to slice it. I mean, sometimes a second makes a huge difference.
I'm looking at frames, like slightest movement of the head that leads into the next cut. It's like cutting on that movement, cutting on the sound, the beat, the music.
I don't know what to say.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today for this interview. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And I'm glad that we finally were able to hear your voice, because a lot of times we just see me singing and it's, you know, glamorous and beautiful, but we don't really see all the work that goes into all of this material that I've put on YouTube, Facebook, and out there into the world for my fans to enjoy. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate our working relationship and all the collaborations we've done and all the hard work you've put in behind the scenes. And I really wanted you guys to see that and get to know Doug. He's an amazing person. And if you're somewhere out there who wants a music video, hire Doug. He's amazing.
You have to be as nice to me as she is.
Anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys supporting me and my music, and also getting a little window into some of the behind the scenes. And we have so many projects, amazing stuff coming up. We're already brainstorming a bunch of things. And I think...
Stay tuned.
Yes,
Lots to come.
Stay tuned. Anyway, have a great day, and we love you guys. Mwah. Thank you, Doug, for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.